All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bourbon. Oh, my camera's over there. All right. Hey, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden, and today I have with me my wonderful fiance, Lauren. So, put that there. Is in the shot. Okay, today we're gonna be basically trying to get her into liking whiskey, and that's just something that I've always wanted to do and been trying to do. But basically what we're going to do today is kind of start off with doing cocktails, stuff along those lines. So whiskey forward cocktails. The first one's going to be a little bit of a sweeter, like citrus-y like take on a whiskey sour. Then we're going to work into an old fashioned and then a Manhattan. But maybe by the end of the night, hopefully she'll be kind of smelling and tasting at least one whiskey. Just to try to get her into that tasting the notes without all that alcohol burn right up front. So this is probably going to be like a thing that we're going to do over time, a couple different times, more than once. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into it. For anyone watching, welcome. Hop in the chat, say what's up, and I'll be sure to respond to you. I see that Bourbon Neophyte got here early today, and he's saying, sharing is caring. My wife doesn't drink. So she prepares the blind flights for some of my reviews. Yes, that's what she normally does for me when she's home. But I decided that I wanted her to be in some of these videos, and that I think she somewhat wanted to be in them too. So, by the way, for anyone watching, if you haven't checked out Bourbon Neophyte, go check him out. He just hit 200 subscribers, I believe. So go subscribe to his channel and show him some love. That being said, we're going to start off with cocktail. Like I said, it's kind of a riff on the whiskey sour, but instead of having an egg, it's got some port wine in there, and it's really kind of like a good mix between like floral and bourbon, and kind of like the port wine adds this kind of like earthy note to it, which kind of gives it some layer and texture. So for that cocktail, we're going to be using... I think we'll do Brothers Bond for that one, since it is actually originally a Brothers Bond cocktail. So I got all my stuff out to the side here that I'm going to be shaking up, and I got a refrigerator, a very, very mini fridge filled with ice, which is going to be a main ingredient tonight, obviously. So we're going to put some ice in the cup. It would help if I had my bar actually finished at this point, but right now it is just a big empty room with a table and a shelf in it. But that's okay, because you got to start somewhere. Seth, how's it going, buddy? How are you? Seth is in the chat today. So, Seth, you drinking a Busch, or did you pick up any kind of good beer? Any more of that oatmeal cream pie stout? Because that stuff was good, and I know you liked it. All right, so first off, we're going to be doing 1.5 ounces of Brothers Bond bourbon into the shaker. And then you can cap that. And then we're going to do 0.75 ounces of simple syrup. So we're going to go to the small side. I'm going to go a little bit light on that, because I think 0.75 is kind of an overpowering amount of simple syrup for a smaller cocktail like this. So I'm only going to do about 0.5. Then we got 0.75 lemon juice, which is an important part. So I'm going to do a full 0.75 of that. Right into the glass, shaker. And then finally, we have 0.75 ounces of a port wine, which I honestly love. Port wine is kind of like, it's a dessert wine, so it's kind of thick and rich and sweet, but at the same time, it's got some like earthy qualities to it. Overall, like really, really nice wine. And actually, you don't put that in the shaker. I almost messed that up. The wine goes on afterward. It's supposed to kind of separate a little bit, but I've never had it where it actually like stays on top and bottom. Usually the port wine sinks to the bottom. I don't know if that's just because it's the kind of port wine I bought, but it is what it is. So now we're going to give this a shake. And I'm sorry if it's loud. All right. Sorry if that clipped your guys' mics. If you're watching with headphones on, that's my bad. So we're going to go ahead and strain this into a smaller glass, like a rocks glass. And then we're going to dump this into a bucket. And last but not least, now we get to add the 0.75 ounces of port wine to this glass. So it also normally helps if you have ice in this cocktail. I'm not putting any in because we're honestly probably going to drink it pretty fast, and I don't have enough ice to make all the cocktails I want to make and still have some left for the actual inside of the glass. So I do have large ice cubes that I could have used, but too late now. So as you can see, it's kind of separated a little bit. The port wine kind of sinks to the bottom, and all the yellow is all on top. So I'm gonna give that to you and let you try it. So this is kind of going to be more of a earthy, bourbony, zesty, lemony type drink. So let me know what you think of it.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Any kind of thoughts on it? What kind of notes did you get on it?
It tastes like sugar.
Sugar, does it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be drinking these two throughout the night. I will pour myself some whiskey eventually to drink along with her, but as of right now, we're just kind of starting off light, a little bit of cocktails. So okay. So yeah, it's a little bit sweet. As far as cocktails go, it's not, like I said, we're starting off easy, one that's going to be really forgiving, really like a piece of candy, the way most local bars would make a cocktail, kind of just overly sweet, overly washed down, not a whole lot of that bourbon heaviness in there, but still has bourbon or rye, in the cocktail. So this one is starting off light, just kind of lemony, zesty. That bourbon is there, but it's not like standing out by any means. You get a little bit of that oakiness from it, and a little bit of maybe like a breadiness from it. But overall, you get that port from the wine really takes over and envelops on the palate, and it really kind of gives you that like earthy, grapey, just like dessert wine that you really love with a port, which is honestly what I love about port. So Seth says yes, sir, and he's taking an exam. So a mix between beer, exams, and the bourbon bar. I'm not sure what more you can ask for in your life. So that's awesome. All right. I'm gonna let you keep sipping on that, and feel free to chip in. But I am gonna decide what to drink now tonight. And honestly, I really think I'm really feeling the Penelope Architect because honestly, it's been really good. I've been drinking it a lot recently, and I just did a review on it not too long ago. So I'm just gonna sip on this while we kind of just chit chat about whiskey and things, and then I'll let her kind of smell it and see if she can pick out any kind of notes out of it. She does watch my videos, but how much she recollects it, I'm not sure how much you retain from it. So
I'm not taking an exam on your bourbon.
yeah, well, has the drink kind of turned into anything, or?
Well, it's less lemony because
You got it down to the port, yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna let you smell this, and I just want you to kind of tell me what you think. So you kind of have to like open your mouth a little bit and kind of like, if you can, breathe in through your mouth and nose at the same time. And if it's too harsh alcohol in your nose, you just kind of pull it back a little bit so it's away. But if you pull back too far, you're not gonna get any of the scent. So kind of pull it back and then kind of go forward until you get a little bit of something. Feel free to give it some swirls around the glass. That usually brings up some of the effervescence to the nose.
I don't know.
You don't know? What about, is it like, if you get Sharpie marker or ethanol, or you can't get past any of that kind of stuff, say it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no wrong answers when you're tasting whiskey. It's just kind of like what connections your brain can put to it. So, I mean, do you get any kind of like, does it just smell like pure alcohol to you? Does it have some kind of like grain in it? Maybe a little bit of bread is kind of, I get like a bready note from it.
I just smell lemon.
Lemon?
I think that
Well,
in my mouth.
to be fair, I kind of get like a florally aspect to that one. It's kind of like light and floral. Lemon zesty is actually a really good note. I got lemon, kind of more of a grapefruit on that, but like I said, it's all dependent on how much you connect things in your brain. So, yeah. So in the cocktail now, the wine, the port wine, is kind of mixed into the sour. It's kind of got less of that whiskey potency and more of that port potency, which is still nice because port wines are usually aged in oak barrels for a long time, depending on the wine. This is just a tawny port, just a generic Dow's tawny port. So it's nothing special. I've had some better ports in my life. I've had some like $20-$30 ports, but this is only like a $10 port. So it does the basic flavors, but it's not anything that's gonna make something extremely special. Seth says, what could go wrong? Well, you could get really drunk and then fail the exam and then blame it on the bourbon bar, but you wouldn't do that because, to be honest, for everyone who doesn't know Seth, I went to college with him, and while I only did a 2-year, he had carried over some credits to a 4-year, so we had taken many exams together, especially during the COVID times, which, as everyone does, I mean, it's no secret, but uh, they're not honestly like something to stress over. I know a lot of people, and it's hard because a lot of people really stress about exams and that kind of thing. And we've always just kind of messed about and like didn't take them too seriously. Kind of, we just played it by ear. If we did good, we did good. If we did bad, we did bad. I mean, you got to study for some of them, but it's not something you can really want to ruin your life over. It's just a test. Seth said he bought some cheap Woodford Reserve and sipping on it now. Hey, cheers, Seth. I actually have Woodford double oaked right here that I plan on maybe breaking into tonight and maybe having Lauren try. Otherwise, I do have a bottle of Woodford up there, which I personally really like Woodford, so that's a good choice. And I'm glad you're sipping on some whiskey with me. So that being said, what is everyone else drinking? If you guys are in the chat, let me know if you guys are sipping on any kind of bourbon or whiskey or what you got. Sugar Kitty is here. Hello, Sugar Kitty. How's it going? I just went to my parents' house this past weekend for Mother's Day. I got your box, so I'm breaking into those very soon. And I think on one of these live streams, I might do some blinds with them. But I'm really excited to give those a try. So thanks again for sending those. It's gonna be good. Sugar Kitty says, busy day and even busier night. Good time to multitask. Yeah, I agree. We kind of had somewhat of a busier afternoon. I got home, but I went to work, went to the gym, and then I got home, and then I had to run around and get some things for dinner, and then I had to get this all set up, and then she had work, and then she was running around, and we had to do stuff like that. So it definitely feels good to sit back, relax.
My Adirondack chair.
In her Adirondack chair. Yeah, so I only have one of the nice fancy leather chairs, and so unfortunately Lauren's gonna have to tough it out in the Adirondack chair. But honestly, those chairs are really just the most comfortable chairs. So taconic rye for me. Okay, I've never heard of taconic rye. Interesting. What is taconic rye? Where is that from? Is it like kind of like a local rye to you, or is it something more well known? Because I don't know if I've heard of it, to be honest. You have to fill me in on that. But I'm gonna break into the Penelope. How are you liking that? Now you're kind of at the bottom of the glass there. What do you think overall? Is it? You said it was sweet. Is it too sweet, or kind of ready for more bourbon forward cocktail?
Well, you can't really taste the bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet. I
Mhm.
think I could drink another for sure. I could
Yeah.
drink one of those by myself.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know how it compares to the regular one though.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Was it one of like the better cocktails that you had that was an actual cocktail? It's hard because in Wisconsin, or I know there's a lot of places, but like I said earlier, kind of local bars and like places that aren't really spirit forward places, their cocktails don't tend to be spirit forward either. So it's usually 5 pounds of sugar, a drop of alcohol, and then a splash of soda. So when we're talking about cocktails on this channel, we kind of tend to talk more about spirit forward cocktails. So all the cocktails that we're going to be making tonight and on this channel usually are spirit forward cocktails. So as far as a spirit forward cocktail, is it one of the better ones you had? Is it kind of up there on the list? I know you haven't had many.
I'll say, what else did I have?
I'd say martinis are kind of a spirit forward cocktail, but the martinis we've had are more of a dessert.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. But if this may be the only one that she's really ever kind of sat down and enjoyed, so that still makes it number one on the list, which is a good way to start because I honestly love these. I think they're phenomenal. They just go down easy on a warm summer day, and here in Wisconsin it is ultra warm. By the way, if we lose power tonight, it's because there's a tornado warning or a tornado watch.
It's not supposed to rain until like after 7.
Okay. There's some kind of tornado watch or warning up until like 9 o'clock, but we should be okay because the rain's held off all day. Apparently, we're supposed to get anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inch hail, so that's great. And last time it hailed, as you all know, my power went out, so that's never good. But Sugar Kitty says Adirondack chair is not so comfortable for me. Well, I would imagine. Yeah, if you're a cat, a full size chair probably isn't ultra comfortable. So, yeah, but I bet if your owner is sitting on the chair and you're on your owner's lap, probably superbly comfortable. As it happens, Taconic is in upstate New York, east of the Adirondacks. I grew up in that area. Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know.
I didn't know that place.
Huh? Adirondacks? I don't know. It must be. Where's Adirondacks? Is that?
Are you sure he's not saying east of the Adirondack chair? Because New York is east of here.
Well, how would he know which way is east of?
I'm assuming he knows his geography where Wisconsin is.
Okay. You might have to clarify for that. Sorry, Sugar Kitty, we're kind of dull, but we're not sure exactly what the Adirondacks is. Is Adirondacks a place? Am I dumb? I certainly feel dumb now because either it is a place and I'm stupid for not knowing it, or it's not a place and I'm ultra gullible and still stupid. But that's okay. Hanging AZ, welcome to it. Hey now, Holden and Fiance. Yes, Fiance's name is Lauren. Just so you know that. But you can keep calling her Fiance. She doesn't mind. Let's see. Mountains, upstate New York.
Because the mountains are Appalachian mountain, I think, right? You were there. You
We.
should know the answer.
Where was I?
In Tennessee.
Those are the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, is that their real name?
The Smoky Mountains?
Isn't there like an actual name for them?
The Smoky, yeah,
Can I
they're the
Google
Smoky
it? I don't
Mountains.
think
Yeah,
you're-
go ahead.
I don't think you're right.
The Smoky Mountains are in Tennessee, which is where I went. Okay, Sugar Kitty has an answer. The Adirondacks are mountains in northern New York. That's where Lake Placid and the 1980 Olympics were held. Miracle on Ice. Okay, that's really cool, actually. I did not know that. Adirondacks is a mountain range. Okay. So clearly...
Yeah, the Appalachian Mountains. I'm not stupid.
Okay. So clearly Sugar Kitty and Hang and AZ are much more geographically inclined. That's what I was trying to say. I haven't drank that much yet. Damn. Obviously geographically inclined versus us, but interesting. Okay. So how is that rye? Is it any good? Is it like something worth buying if I ever were in New York, or is it just, or do you just have the bottle because it's sentimental to you? Let me know. All right, but I think it's time to move on to the old-fashioned cocktail, which is going to be making the glass cocktail, which are honestly some of my favorites because of how easy they are. But we're going to start off with a large cube, which fits almost perfectly into that glass. What we're going to do for this one is a Buffalo Trace because, as everyone knows, it's very beginner-friendly whiskey. It's pretty relatively low proof. Still can somewhat hold up to ice, maybe, but I know a lot of people who like to make their old fashions with a little bit of Buffalo Trace. But I'm skipping a step because the first ingredient is going to be bitters, and we're going to do about 3 dashes of bitters. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, right on top of the cube. And next on the glass, we're going to add a little bit of simple syrup. So we're going to do half an ounce of simple syrup, just enough to give it that little bit of sweetness. A lot of people like to use the sugar cube, but I personally don't like how the sugar cube doesn't dissolve. I think it kind of defeats the purpose, especially when I'm trying to get her into whiskey. We don't want it to be too harsh right away. The next cocktail after this one is going to be Manhattan, so it's already going to be kind of more of an aggressive cocktail. But we're just going to work our way up to that point. So half an ounce of simple syrup in the glass, and then last but not least, we are doing 2 ounces of Buffalo Trace. So we're going to fill that right up to the top. And she's probably going to need some help drinking this one because, as you guys can see, she's a small individual, and drinking all of this whiskey is not going to end well. So that goes right in the glass, fills it up nicely, and then you just take your stir spoon and you kind of just give it a couple swirls around right there in the glass. And then normally this would be the point where you take an orange peel and squish the orange rind and juices all over the top of the drink and give it that real orange zestiness. I don't have an orange, so we won't be doing that today. And to be honest, she hates oranges, so not a real winner. But in a very crude manner, I'm going to be plopping one of these bad boys in there too, mainly because if she doesn't eat it, I definitely will. But I love Luxardo cherries. So put that right in the glass, kind of stir it out a little bit. Kind of adds a little bit of that like sweet cherry flavor to the drink. And voila. So there we have an old fashioned. The way it's meant to be made, the way it's made in most of the other states. Like I said in my old fashioned video a long time ago, old fashions in Wisconsin tend to be 2 ounces of whiskey, an ounce or 2 of old fashioned mix, which is just a lot of sugar, and then filled up to the top with soda. It's literally made in a glass this big. They put in this much whiskey, this much mix, and this much soda. So that's how Wisconsin likes to do things. My first time out of state, I was actually I wouldn't say pleasantly surprised. I would say kind of crudely surprised that my old fashioned didn't come with any mix in it or any wash in it. it was really kind of like a wake up call that Wisconsin doesn't really know how to do its cocktail game the way other states do. But that being said, this is an old fashioned. I'm gonna give it a taste test first to make sure it's good. Yeah. Anyway, that's good. Okay, so this is gonna be much more whiskey forward. Very, you kind of have to drink this one like whiskey now. It's gonna be a little bit harsher, but it's gonna be, it's still gonna have that sweetness, and it's got a lot more bourbon flavor. A little bit of that bitters comes through, but not like overly bitter. And that maraschino or that Luxardo cherry that I put in there is also adds to it. So go ahead and give it a try. Let me know what you think. She doesn't like to be stared at, I guess, when she's taking drinks of it. But let's see. When you grow up there, you kind of know what it's about. Yeah, that's understandable. You probably would never know of any of the things I said about Wisconsin unless you've been here. So I totally get it. I can't type for crap, but I know geography. Yeah, well, I can't talk for crap, so I don't blame you for any kind of typing. Start out with Wild Turkey 101, Tough Love. Yeah, well, to be honest, that's a little bit harsh for a beginner. I think, have you
I've had
had?
it,
Yeah, and it was
I don't
not.
remember.
Yeah, she's had it before. She doesn't like sit down and sip whiskey with me on the weekends. She doesn't. It's never her first drink of choice. But at some point, might change that. It's kind of a goal we're working toward, where she'll at least like maybe order a pour if we go to the bourbon room or something. But yeah, Wild Turkey 101 is a very harsh wake up call to what bourbon has to offer. A lot of that cinnamon and spice really comes through and kind of just slaps you in the face and lets you know that you're drinking whiskey, which a lot of us love, that vanilla cherry cinnamon bomb. But for someone just starting out, it's kind of
I've had these three before. I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had Maker's Mark, and I've had all of your Elijah Craig's except for the newest one.
Yeah, but you didn't. What?
That's it though.
Yeah, but you don't really remember any of them.
I remember. Hold on. I remember that one.
The double O.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that I had Maker's Mark and Wild Turkey at Wild Turkey 101
Okay.
at the bourbon room.
And did you
That's
like?
it, though.
Did you like any of them?
I don't remember. That's a good question. I know I didn't like the double oak one.
Yeah,
That's
the
too
double.
strong for me.
Oh, really? It's a sweet one.
I know, but
It's hard because the double oak kind of has like that really sweet flavors in it, but at the same time, it's kind of got like a funk and a little bit of like an aggressive note if you're just starting off. It's kind of why I always like to stick with Brothers Bond, because it's so easy when you're trying to get someone into whiskey. It's so just like, the word we all hate is smooth, but like it really is. Like you can just drink it. There's none of that alcohol that's coming and slapping you, but it still has lots of good flavor to it. So, but now that you had a sip of it and you had some time to relax and think about it, what did you think? What do you think about the classic old fashioned?
well, I definitely could drink a Wisconsin one better or like easier.
Right.
And it's not bad, but I just think that it goes down easier when it's with the soda.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it would. But you got to compare this to drinking whiskey, and maybe something that might work easier for you. And I don't want you to slap me for jumping the gun here, but I would like for you to try just a little sip of Buffalo Trace, neat from the glass, and then it might be a little harsh for you, but then I want you to go straight from this into the old fashioned. So maybe just kind of give it a little bit of a smell and just kind of a little bit on the palate and just take a sip, and then kind of just think about it, whether you like it, dislike it, if it's too aggressive. But then after that, you're going to switch to the cocktail. And you're going to see, well, you might give it like 10, 15 seconds, but just so you can see the difference between how sweet this is compared to normal whiskey. Do you get anything out of the nose of that one? And feel free to swirl it around a little bit.
No, I did nothing.
Nothing?
No.
I didn't pour much. Let me see.
There's not very much in here.
Okay, there's a little bit. Maybe try to think about vanilla. Vanilla kind of like a strawberry, like red fruit. Definitely caramel, and a little bit of oak is kind of what Buffalo Trace has to offer. But vanilla is a very Buffalo Trace,
I feel like I can get oak, but that's
Oak?
the
Okay. And understandable. All right, now take a sip. Just kind of a little bit to wet your whistle. You want enough that you're still swallowing something, because if you just get it on your tongue, it's kind of gonna, like, your mouth is gonna overpower it. You need to take enough of a sip to like have it go down your throat, because honestly, that retronasal, when it's coming back up, that's what's really giving you a lot of that flavor. The whole thing, maybe half if you want, just kind of like a decent sized sip. Swallow. Breathe out.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
That's gross.
It's gross, she says. Okay. But now
Okay, but like it's not that it's bourbon, because I had one of them and I could taste what it tasted like. That doesn't taste like anything.
that just doesn't taste like it. Okay, well, to be fair, I was never a huge fan of Buffalo Trace when I first started off, but now we're switching to the cocktail, and it's going to be a lot easier to drink. I don't know if that face was yeah,
well,
it's good.
I still taste the other one in my mouth.
Still taste the other one in your mouth. But comparatively.
Yes, this is a lot sweeter, obviously, but I know that Buffalo Trace isn't like a sweet, like on the sweet end of, right?
Right. Well, it is and it isn't. It's kind of like a different kind of sweetness compared to other ones. The thing about Buffalo Trace is it kind of has like some floral aspects to it, which kind of is more like a perfumey sweetness. But it still has like some vanilla strawberry, so it's like a light sweetness, whereas other sweet bourbons might be more of a chocolate or pastry or fresh bread and like donuts, glaze, sugar. So yeah, I wouldn't call Buffalo Trace super sweet, but I would say it's on the medium end of the spectrum. So it's right kind of down the middle lane. But now that you've gone from the Buffalo Trace back to the cocktail, what do you get what kind of flavors are you getting out of the cocktail? Can you pinpoint any kind of flavors on it?
I don't know if it's just because it's that more, but it takes more cherry.
More cherry?
Yeah, but that could be because you said there's dark fruit in the.
Yeah, red fruit in the bourbon. But that is a good point. I do happen to notice whenever I add that Luxardo cherry, it definitely, some of that cherry juice kind of like mends in well with the rest of the cocktail and really kind of gives it a nice cherry flavor. And now the ice cube is melting down a little bit, kind of watering it down just a little bit, making it easier and easier to drink. So maybe I'm going to go through some of these comments. Feel free to kind of smell it, sip it, think about it while I do that. And then...
well, it smells like a Wisconsin old fashioned, but
yeah.
And it doesn't that it even tastes different. It's just that it's thicker.
Thicker, yeah. And that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, but I kind of usually gravitate towards like thinner things.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, Wisconsin old fashions, they don't taste bad. They taste good. It's just that they're watered down. And the old fashioned mix really does smell a lot like this. It holds true to their purpose in making it, is that it's an old fashioned mix. It's just that you don't originally want that kind of stuff if you're a hardcore whiskey enthusiast. You kind of want the stuff that's going to taste a little bit more whiskey forward. And so that's kind of what this has going on here. Sugar Kitty says the rye is inexpensive, but it's just worth its price. It's 100% local rye, 95.5 mash bill, 90 proof. It's just not all that complex because it is fairly young. It's okay, but I wouldn't go out of the way. Okay, so I guess if I'm ever in the area, I'll pick up a bottle. Lots of good 95.5 ryes out there. Is that I'm assuming that's going to be an MGP sourced 95.5. That's a very common match bill for MGP to source out. So yeah, understandable. Quality worth the money, but nothing too special. Understandable. Adirondack chair for sure needs something fluffy to put on it before sitting. Yes, indeed. You selling furniture part time now? I'm not. I have a friend actually who just started doing like some furniture selling thing, and he's making bank. Honestly, he gets some free couches off Facebook Marketplace. He cleans them and then he flips them and sells them for like $400 or $500, and it's like, wow. But good on him for making it work. As a kid, we camped coast to coast, and so I know a lot about different places. I've been to the Dells, for example. Oh, okay. So yeah, Wisconsin Dells. I'm assuming is what you mean by the Dells.
I'm going there on Thursday.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I told
for school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Wisconsin Dells is awesome. I mean, definitely a good place to kind of party, go to the water parks. Lots of things to do there. Lots of amusement parky things to do. Good places to stay. I'm surprised that you on water slides. I didn't know they let cats on water slides, but that's interesting. Hanging AZ says, ask Sugar Kitty if you ever went to Poconos.
Poconos, like in Friends.
Poconos?
Remember in the first season, Rachel and Paula are gonna go there, and they're like, Poconos.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's from Friends, which, in case you guys haven't noticed, she is covered up with a Friends blanket, and we do like Friends in this household. Bullet is a nice starter. Yeah, so actually, my first couple of whiskeys that I tasted were Bullet Bourbon and Buffalo Trace, and I was choosing between the two, and I chose Bullet. I liked Bullet better, and to this day, I still really think that I would like Bullet better. I don't have it on the shelf because I used to be one of the ones where I just bought that and drank it, and so I've had like 3 or 4 bottles of it before I even got into all this. So it kind of like wore it out at the time, and once I started doing this, I'm like, I finished my Bullet. I don't need to go buy another one. I know what it tastes like, but it would be something that I would like to get back on the shelf one of these days. Sugar Kitty says he grew up in New York State, but was born in the Poconos. Very long story, but when he came back from being out of the country, moved back to where I was born, high school and college there. Interesting. International cat of mystery. Yes, Sugar Kitty, you are probably the most interesting cat that I've ever met, for sure. Very fluent in the English language, and I don't know which part of your paw you use to type if you're on a phone, but it's impressive that you can do that without thumbs. I really think that's like something worth raising a glass to, so cheers to you. Bullet in the Four Roses profile is not a bad start. Also, the Buffalo Trace is okay, or Wild Turkey. So yeah, I agree. All those are really wonderful starting whiskeys. And once I get her to the point of being able to kind of like sip whiskey neat and do that stuff, I'm gonna go through all the different starting profiles, like the Four Roses profile, the Old Forester profile, the Buffalo Trace profile, stuff like that, where I can kind of figure out where her taste buds align. Does she like nutty? Does she like brown sugar cinnamon? Does she like aggressive wild turkey cinnamon? Does she like sweet floral Buffalo Tracy stuff? Super floral Four Roses stuff? So we're gonna kind of go down that road once we get to that point of her experience here. But Sugar Kitty says you have no idea. Besides living out of the country, I have a dozen stories from working in Ukraine mid-90s. Huh. Wow. Are you Puss in Boots? Are you like just a badass little cat running around? Because honestly, if you had some nice boots and a sword, I think that would be baller. I can't remember what Wild Turkey 86 tastes like. Fun fact, I've never had Wild Turkey 86 in my life. It's like everyone only ever talks about the 101, and after having the 101, I can't imagine why I would ever want to downproof to the 86. And if I'm in a bar, usually if they don't have Turkey 101, I'll usually gravitate toward like the Maker's Mark or the Bullet, away from like Turkey 86. But that's interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't know what Turkey 86 tastes like. Seth says, "Add a kid, Lauren." Yeah, yeah. She's definitely got her big boy pants on today, sipping some whiskey with
I'm a girl.
big girl pants on today, sipping whiskey with the gang. So that's really good. I like that a lot. Honestly, for all you hardcore whiskey drinkers out there, old fashions, just like a classic old fashioned, sometimes just hits a spot. I mean, I love drinking whiskey neat, but sometimes having a cocktail really kind of brings the whole experience together. What does Lauren enjoy drinking, and what would she order if you go out? Okay, that's a tough-ish one. She really likes the clear liquors, tequila, gin, rum, and stuff like that. But I think it's less of the flavor that they have to offer and more of the kind of drinks that are made with them. I mean, rum drinks are usually sweet, tropical, easy to drink.
I don't know if I've never had gin like just itself. I don't like
Straight
gin
up
tonic.
gin. Yeah.
So, but like the French 75.
Yep.
Yeah, 45.
French 75 or 45, whatever
that
it
one's
is.
really good, but
It's like gin, champagne, and
lemon.
Orange.
No,
orange?
it's lemon.
Lemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, lemon juice.
And then what's the other one? The one I had, the bourbon, the purple one.
The
what was that?
Empress Strikes Back
what
or
was in
something.
that one? Do you
I don't
remember?
even know. It's like
It was Empress gin.
Gin, maybe
then-
like a triple stack, and like a sour wash.
Yeah, I really like that one, but I
Yeah.
don't like gin and tonics at all. And I've never had gin by itself. And then
I think
vodka, I don't like vodka.
Yeah.
Vodka's disgusting.
Vodka doesn't really have much.
No,
like,
it just
much
makes me
to it.
not okay.
Yeah.
Rum, I love rum. Any kind of rum.
Yeah.
Rum's fantastic.
And she drank tequila a lot in
Tequila is good.
college. It was kind of her jam. But it was more of like a, here's tequila, glug, 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 rather than oh, tequila, nice. You know what I mean? Like she definitely wasn't sitting there sipping on tequila. It was definitely more
It was definitely
like
just coming straight out the bottle. There was no thought in it.
Yeah.
And
so
then fake cocktail. What would you call not a cocktail like this?
just kind of.
Because
say like mixed drinks.
Yeah. Okay.
Mixed
so
drinks
for
would be
mixed
good.
drinks, I always get.
Or I guess a margarita would be a cocktail.
A margarita, yeah, always get a margarita. But the Bacardi limon with lemonade or with water.
Yeah, if we're out in the club, like a Bacardi lemon, or a Bacardi like citron or whatever, it's kind of like the lemon lime flavored Bacardi, mixed with just lemonade or water. Just kind of something like easy, you're dancing, sweating in the club. It's kind of like that atmosphere where you're not drinking hard liquor, because if you are drinking hard liquor in that atmosphere, you kind of feel like an alcoholic. But
I say I don't like vodka, but I like Moscow mules.
That's true. Moscow mules. So really, she likes any kind of drink that just kind of.
Yeah, and then if we're doing beer, I always like sours.
Yeah, sour beers.
Sour beers, like non-pickly ones, but sour beers.
Yeah, we went to a local brewery the other day, and we had a peanut butter and jelly beer.
And it smelled just like peanut butter and jelly the first time that we smelt it, and then we took a sip, and it tasted like pickles.
Yeah,
and
like
we couldn't
pure
get the
pickle juice.
Yeah, it was just like thick pickle juice that was purple, and then we couldn't get the pickles out of our head, so it just tasted like pickles and smelled like pickles, and it was rough. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I finished it, so.
Yeah, that was a classic case of I didn't get the pickles at all. I smelt it, okay, tasted it. I could see how it was peanut butter and jelly. Then, 5 minutes later, she goes, "This smells exactly like pickles." And then from the rest of the night, I was like, "Oh, it does. It smells so much like pickles." And then it tasted like pickles too. It was gross. Not something that I thoroughly enjoyed, but
we drank it. It was good.
Yeah. So long story short, she's open to liking any kind of alcohol.
And I'll drink Wisconsin all that. I probably wouldn't go to the store go to a restaurant and order non-Wisconsin old fashioned. But just because it's I'm not gonna order something that's hard for me to drink.
Yeah, the thing is, the kind of places that we go when we're getting drinks is more of a somewhere where you kind of want a refreshing drink.
Yeah, and I grew up, my parents always drank sweet old fashions. And I don't like Sprite. So I really think that I just have a bad, what's it called? Schema of bourbon drinks just because I hated
Okay.
Sprite and everything was always mixed with Sprite. Whereas I would probably like it like a sour one.
Yeah.
Because I like sour sodas. I don't like Sprite, which is a sweet stuff.
And it holds pretty true. I mean, she likes margaritas are sour. The French 75 has lemon juice in it. Those are usually sour. The last drink I just made her is a lot of lemon juice, a lot very sour. Margaritas, did I say that already?
Yes.
Moscow mules.
Moscow mules aren't really sour.
They're kind of like because there's a bunch of lime juice in it.
It just depends on what kind of vodka you use. If you use regular vodka, it doesn't really taste sour to me at all.
Yeah,
but if you use lime vodka,
the lime,
it's sour.
yeah. But if you have like fresh limes in there in a Moscow Mule, which is like the best way to have them, it really does kind of get a sour-y note to it. But yeah, that's kind of where she is with the alcohol. Open to everything, but her palate kind of aligns more with.
Except for that one gross one.
Malort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything but
that. Yeah. She refuses to give Malort a good old-fashioned college try, but I've done it too many times to count. So, Buffalo Trace can be a bit oaky sometimes. If you get one either cherry or grape note bottles, then it's a nice beginner. Yeah. So I would say this Buffalo Trace. I would say it falls under the strawberry. I mean, it's closer to the cherry than the grape, but definitely falls closer to like a strawberry. Vanilla, and it definitely has some oak in it. I would say Eagle Rare, which maybe I could have you try a little bit later, but Eagle Rare, this is a store pick from Davidson's somewhere in Colorado. This is like super fake grape, like grape soda-y grape. I don't know if you can smell in there and smell grapes, but.
Oh, I don't smell anything. No, I don't smell anything.
No.
I don't think I'm.
It's kind of hard smelling out of the bottle, especially a longer bottle like this. But yeah, maybe I'll pour this from my next glass and have her smell it when we switch up drinks. But yeah, I agree. Kind of like the sweet grapey like cherry notes are always really good for beginners. Kind of just brings you somewhere with recollection, and especially because everyone's had grapes and cherries that kind of know the flavors of grapes and cherries. So that initial connection that you need when you start drinking whiskey, it's there. You smell it, you're like, oh, that's cherries. And as soon as you get that, you get excited, you pat yourself on the back, like, I just got a really good note. I can't believe I connected those dots. And it kind of just starts to spiral. So no, Taconic does all their own, not sourced. Okay, so they're a 95.5 rye, not sourced. So that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely, if I'm ever in that area, which I'm some point in our lives, we're probably gonna go to New York area.
Yeah, New York. Well, not New York City. It's different.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's New York State.
Yeah.
I've heard it's gorgeous, but New York City is like.
New York City's a bit much. Maybe like a day in.
I don't need to
maybe like a day in New York City, kind of visit Central Perk and see all the Friends stuff. Is that?
I don't know if they have a Central Perk because when you go to
where's
New York,
the Friends thing?
No, if you go, well, at least when I went, which this was years ago, but you can go to Times Square and there's the NBC studio and they have a Friends section in it, and you can go and you can see the building that was like. Supposedly the building that Monica's apartment was in, but there's the bottom. What they say is Central Perk was really it was like a restaurant, like a bakery or something like that.
Okay.
So, but that was when I was there. That was 10 years ago. Oh my god, that was 10 years ago. I feel like old, but that was 10 years ago, so it might have changed now.
Yeah.
But I know in Chicago, I don't know if we still have it, but like a couple weeks ago, they had a Friends museum thing. It's like a travel museum, and we could have went. Oh.
That's something I would do. I love.
But yeah, they
Friends
have
is
a Central
awesome.
Perk, and they have it set up exactly how they were. You can sit on the couch and order coffee in the giant
mug.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But
yeah, if we ever went to like New York, I wouldn't probably be able to get Friends out of my head. So like. But I think it's something where we would go to New York, stay in the city for a day maybe, but then kind of go explore all the beautiful parts of the state that are more visitor friendly.
Yeah, that's why they say like, oh, upstate, and then they always go. It's kind of like Wisconsin is to Chicago people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Typing no problem, but trying but trying having no thumbs with a can of tuna. Yeah. I can only imagine how you manage that. Definitely have to wait for your owner to come home for that one. I'm in the mood for a bullet rye whiskey sour, but also no lemons. Yeah, so I actually I don't. This is like kind of just like a container filled with like you can buy lemon juice from the store that's kind of got like sugar added in or whatever. That stuff's nasty. But if you buy this, is like pure lemon juice, so it's like 100% fully like tart. That's kind of a good way to be lazy about it. Just kind of squeeze it into the jigger and mix it in your drinks. But yeah, a bullet rye whiskey sour sounds phenomenal. I mean, I don't have any bullet rye, but I've had bullet rye before in some cocktails, and it was good. I like it. Maybe a bourbon with big citrus notes, or maybe a rye.
Do you think I would like rye? I've never had it.
I have rye here.
It's in the bag.
Rye is gonna be more floral, earthy.
Wait, let me just smell it. Let me smell it.
Which one?
The one that's like this
Oh, this is.
one. Well, it's different, I know, but I do want to smell it.
I'm just
You're
gonna.
straight to your back then.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this Elijah Craig rye because that one's gonna be pretty easy to smell. It's a kind of a fresher bottle.
Hold on.
Get some fresh breath in the nostrils here.
I can't smell anything. I almost feel like I have
Really?
Corona. I know I don't, but I can't smell anything. Can you? I can't smell anything.
Slightly. And the thing about smelling out of a bottle is like it's got to make it all the way past the neck of the bottle, so it's kind of that one's not a very potent
This
one
one
here.
smells like floor cleaner.
Floor cleaner. All right, we're gonna go ahead and grab the High West Double Rye, the classic. This one's gonna smell like dill, caramel, kind of like floral eucalyptus, maybe like a black tea.
You can't count it. I don't smell anything.
Nothing?
I think it's just the bottle. I think
Alright.
I'm just smelling bottle.
You'll get,
I'm not professional enough to smell out of a bottle.
Yeah.
I can't stick my nose in anything.
Give it a swirl, kind of get the all around the glass there.
I don't know.
Smell anything?
I mean, I do, but I don't know if I smell stuff that I've.
What are you getting from it?
I don't know.
Okay, think dill pickle, or like not dill pickles, maybe like the fresh dill, like dill spice. Definitely a lot of caramel and some like black tea. And you drink black tea, so you should somewhat know what it smells like, but
I can see the dill, but I don't get any black tea.
you can see the dill.
Well, I can smell the dill.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see it.
The dill is a very prominent note in that one. I'd say, as far as like how easy it is to get notes, High West, getting dill out of a High West is something that it's very obvious. Like everyone knows what dill smells like and like dill pickles and that kind of stuff. And so like getting it out of whiskey is like that. Yes, that's what it is. Especially if someone tells you what it is. So you're not like kind of guessing yourself. So have Lauren try the bourbon with a big rock. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're working our way up to. We are already almost an hour in, so gonna kind of finish up this old fashioned here. And do you want to do the Manhattan, or do you want to skip right to whiskey on a rock, big rock?
I'm scared of the Manhattan.
You're scared of the Manhattan.
I remember my mom had the Manhattan.
We went to a bar, and her mom's not a very alcohol forward drink person, so she had got a Manhattan, and I'm like, just so you know, it's gonna be that.
We told her before she ordered it. That's all alcohol.
Yeah, it's just pure alcohol.
She didn't
But
like it.
yeah, she wasn't a huge fan. But honestly, Manhattans are kind of an acquired taste. It's got like some real aggressive, like florally notes with some, but it still had a lot of like that cherry from the vermouth and all the notes from the whiskey still, because it's a very whiskey forward cocktail. But it's pure alcohol, so it's kind of an acquired taste. But It's up to you whether you want to try that or if you want to try out whiskey over a big cube.
I've had a whiskey with a cube in it before, so I guess I'm not as scared of that. But I guess whatever you think is good.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and what do you want? What do you think? Manhattan or whiskey with a cube?
What do you think I wanna?
I don't. I honestly, it's hard to choose. I think we're gonna go right to whiskey on the rocks because.
Do you want me to take a sip of this one? Because I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead and take a sip of the rye. She's gonna try the High West Double Rye Neat right now. So yeah, it's really kind of similar on the palate. It should be a pretty light drinker. I think it's only like 80 or 90 proof. So. How do you feel about that one?
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Is it what do you think? What is it reminding you of? What kind of notes are you getting from it?
Well, I can smell the dill more now than I did it the first time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Very apparent. The dill is very apparent. I never got the grape Beach Trace, but I got the grape from the Eagle. Yeah, me too. I haven't had any kind of single barrels from Buffalo Trace, the actual mainstream Buffalo Trace, but I do have my Eagle Rare single barrel, and I've had normal Eagle Rare, so very grapey, and those tend to be. I think Seinfeld. More about New York. Okay, so
there is a lot of Seinfeld if you go. There's a lot of Seinfeld stuff there.
I haven't watched Seinfeld, so.
You never watched Seinfeld?
No. Take the ring off. Yeah, no, I haven't seen Seinfeld, so. Do you have The Lost Monarch? You might like that one. I don't have Lost Monarch. Lost Monarch, is that a Burr Rye or is that a bourbon? There's Emerald Giant, which is a rye, and then there's Lost Monarch and Pipe Dream, right? I think Pipe Dream is their bourbon. Lost Monarch is their Burr Rye, I think. I'm not sure. Burr Rye action. Okay, right on it. It looks like we got a new man. Punman. Try mixers like a Jim Beam with a splash of ginger ale. Yeah, so that's kind of.
I think I've had that before.
Yeah, well.
But not Jim Beam.
It was Jameson. We made
You're right.
on St. Patrick's Day. We went to her parents' house and we had Jameson with some ginger ale, and that was good. You like that? I think we had added lime to it though.
Yeah, it was very limey. I remember it was super limey.
Yeah, it's pretty watered down too, so it wasn't like pure.
It was okay. I liked the
whiskey.
Black and Tan better. So.
Oh yeah, well.
But yeah, you said that's not the same Irish whiskey, right? That's what that was, right?
Yeah, that was Irish whiskey. Yep. Yeah. So.
I don't know. And I really like ginger ale, so I don't remember. I just remember it being super limey. I can't remember if I liked it.
Okay.
My dad tends to make the drinks instead of like this size where I can finish one, makes them like
her dad likes to make
size,
them in,
and it takes me a couple hours to finish it, and I can't walk afterwards. So it's hard to remember.
I sometimes get orange on double rye. She may not like that. Okay, yeah, well.
I didn't get any orange, but.
You didn't get any orange?
No.
It's a little bit more subdued.
Yeah.
I kind of mix
a little orange. I can't do like.
It's funny because she loves limes and like lemons and like. Grapefruit. So like orange is like right there. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same, but it's like right there in the citrus category. So like. There's a very fine line.
Oranges too. Like I can like eat like a clementine. That's like
clementine.
A different type of orange.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. It's like just.
It's
orange,
just main orange.
Like the regular.
You can do a blood orange.
Blood orange is not. It's just a regular.
So she's a bit weird. It's not all oranges.
Wow. That was rude.
No, not weird like that, but like a bit weird in her orange.
In
particular. That's a good word. Not weird. Sorry.
Not weird. Gosh. Now I'm gonna take the ring off.
Hanging Daisy says bourbon and ginger. So I've actually never had they make cocktails that are bourbon, ginger. Is it a hot toddy or is that cinnamon? That's cinnamon,
hot
isn't it?
Is like
it's cinnamon, honey, bourbon, and it's warm. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's a Kentucky Buck. That's what it is, I think.
Oh yeah, because you were telling me about this when we went to the Lions Tilot one day. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same one?
Yeah, I think so. So the Kentucky Buck, I believe, is a kind of like a derby cocktail, and it's got whiskey and ginger, like fresh ginger in it, and it's kind of got like that like gingery spice like note, and kind of like a little spicy and warm going down. So, but ginger ale is definitely a more tame version of that. Definitely kind of has sweeter notes going on than normal ginger, but he said it's a variety.
They have like bold ginger ale and it's like spicy.
Oh really? Is it like ginger?
It's like spicy. Like,
Ginger's really good for you too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like spicy like hot food. Like,
no, it's like
spicy like it's
like cinnamon spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like on crack.
Yeah. Ginger is like, I don't know how I feel about ginger. Some days I'm like, I want ginger on everything, and other days I'm like, it doesn't need to be there. So, Sugar Kitty says, for me, the orange is like an aftertaste in the finish. Okay, so I'll try to get that. Okay. Like 2 or 3 seconds after you swallow it, kind of on the retronasal. I can see what you're talking about. What's that called? The Mandela Effect? When someone says something,
I think so,
and you think it, and then
you
experience what they said, but probably only because they said it. I do agree. No, I definitely can see that. Maybe try thinking.
Well, don't make me point it out.
Well, there's a little bit left in there, maybe like one more drop. Swallow it, and then like 2 or 3 seconds after, kind of breathe out through your mouth, and then on that retronasal, see if you can place like kind of orange zestness to it.
No.
No.
I don't get orange.
Liquor, alcohol, ethanol.
I mean, it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
But not that warm.
Right. And the other hard part is for all kind of beginners drinking whiskey, it's like that alcoholic burn that you get when you drink it is kind of, overpowering sometimes. It's hard to get them past the point of it tasting like rubbing alcohol into the point where it tastes like these wonderful things that we're all tasting. Cherry? All right. So, I think it's time that we give you a whiskey on the rocks. Any one of your choice. It can be Brothers Bond, Buffalo Trace, can be whatever. This, I'll tell you though, the lower proof stuff isn't going to hold up as well. But that might be what you want to do since it is. So I'm going to finish out and ask a couple comments. You kind of decide what you want to have on the rocks.
What wouldn't taste good? Give me what wouldn't taste good.
What wouldn't taste good?
Yeah, and I'll pick what would taste good.
Okay, well, maybe we're talking to the camera here.
Oh, well, I'm not looking at the camera.
Yeah, understandably. Okay, so she's kind of wondering what would taste good on the rocks. I'm thinking something closer to the 100 proof. Can hold up against kind of that melted ice, watered down. But at the same time, something not too aggressive. Probably want something sweet with a little bit of like floral notes. Honestly, it's either gonna be Old Forester 100 proof or we'll have her do Wild Turkey here. I'm gonna pour this one for myself, but I'm gonna let you taste it. So we're gonna move these back here. We're gonna get out a couple rocks glasses. So in this one we're gonna do, this is a Timekeeper one. It's a place in Wisconsin. Actually, they have a couple different whiskeys. She actually brought me home one on vacation one time, so that's really cool. We're gonna do big cubes because that's the only way to do it when you're drinking whiskey. Because for those of you who don't know, the big cubes allow more of that alcohol flavor to it allows the ice to melt less while still getting the alcohol temperature down. Which is a hard part about having things on the rocks is it's kind of like a time battle. It's you versus the ice cube. Which one will win in consuming all the whiskey? So we're just gonna do a splash of Old Forester 100 proof in this glass in the ice. Kind of let that cool down a little bit, and then I am going to take a Denmark distillery, which is kind of where I grew up. So, well, I grew up in Denmark. It's right down the road from where my parents' house is actually, and they have a lot of like wines and stuff. They're not quite old enough to have like whiskey. A lot of different whiskeys. They have kind of like I think it was a wheat whiskey.
No, it was. Oh, it started with an S.
Soy.
Mm-mm.
Sorghum.
Sorghum, yeah.
Yeah, they have like a sorghum whiskey, which is like really interesting. But we're gonna take some Wild Turkey 101, put it in this glass, and then let that kind of dilute in the ice a little bit. That way she can kind of taste both of them. But yeah, you can still smell it. You still do everything the same. You just kind of waters it down, tames down some of those aggressive flavors that you're getting in the whiskey sometimes. So, yeah, so we can go ahead and kind of get into this. I didn't pour too much in there, so it'll get diluted pretty quickly. Let's see. All right, wrong pipe. For those of you who have done that, you'll know it doesn't ever feel good. Go another wrong pipe.
What is one supposed to taste like?
That one's gonna be more of brown sugar, banana, definitely some like spice, oak. There's oak in there.
Tastes like plant. I'm not like floral plant, like food plant. You know what I mean?
I've also never had Old Forester 100 proof on the rocks before, so it's interesting. And I didn't quite get that initial drink through the pipe because I kind of
it tastes like plant.
It slapped me in the face, which kind of hurt.
How to explain it.
Let me see here. So yeah, so it really tames down the nose a lot.
Oh, I get bananas.
Bananas?
But like a lot.
Like banana runs, right?
Well, yeah, but like...
Or like a ripe banana.
Like if you ate a banana peel, because bananas and banana flavoring are different.
Right.
But like, it's like...
Did you know that...
I don't want to told you that.
Shit. Well, did you guys know that banana runts are actually what bananas are supposed to taste like? And the reason that a banana doesn't taste like a banana runt is because of all the genetic modifications that us humans made to it over time. And that's why bananas taste like bananas, but banana runts have such a more aggressive banana flavor. So
that's what that tastes like.
That it tastes like banana runts.
At first I got plant, which could have been like
a ripe banana.
Because it tastes more like banana peel than like banana.
Yeah.
Because that's what I meant, not like a plant, like a flower, like a floral, like plant. Like I would eat it.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I definitely get that. So the ice kind of like takes away a little bit of that oak, but that after feel on your mouth, that kind of like drying effect, is kind of like a tannic oakiness to it, I think.
Are you gonna make me taste that one too?
I will, but
you're gonna taste
have one more sip of that one and let me know if you get anything else. The ice really kind of takes it down a notch. There's still a hint of like a sweetness in there. It honestly could be anywhere from brown sugar to caramel. Maybe a butterscotch might be a better word for it. But it's kind of a sweeter one. Definitely banana. Maybe a little bit of breadiness like a loaf of bread, but just banana. Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. It's hard when it's on the rocks to really open up the flavor.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I might pour you just a nip of that one in a Glen, just so you can try it, or at least you can smell it. Not being on the rocks, but we're gonna try out the wild turkey now and see how that one is on the rocks. I've never had one-on-one on the rocks, so this one will be interesting for me. Definitely takes the nose down 50 notches. Almost can't even smell like all the wonderful things that go on in it, which is an unfortunate side effect of drinking things on the rocks. But I think with drinking it on the rocks, if you like it, first of all, wonderful way to do it. And second of all, if you're trying to get someone into whiskey or you're trying to get into whiskey, definitely go for it. There's nothing bad about having it on the rocks. Honestly, it's refreshing.
It's easier to drink, but
it's easier to drink, but it takes a lot away.
Yeah, you can taste it. I mean, like, I don't necessarily like the heartburny feeling, but it gets rid of the flavor.
Yeah.
But like a lot. I think that's why I can only get banana. Whereas you had it regular, right. So you already know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay. That's easy. That is easy. Okay, that went down 5 notches. All that's left is a little bit of oak and cinnamon to me. Not a fan over here.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just weird.
It's just the thing about doing things on the rocks is that it.
Yeah, I think it's that it tastes like water.
It does. It honestly.
Take the cubes out. Wait, what's in there? Oh, that's still.
This is still a Penelope.
You're slow.
Well, I've kind of been
drinking.
Yeah, so we're gonna do just a nip of the Wild Turkey 101 on this glass. So it's going to be a little bit more astringent and harsh because it's all that cinnamon bomb. But it still has a lot of oak and vanilla and red fruit. I get a lot of cherries on. So I'm going to go ahead and read some comments.
My mouth is tingling.
If you need something to drink,
no, I'm just.
I have a little bit of tea in the corner. But go ahead and catch up on some of these comments from you guys. Power of suggestion, yeah. So power of suggestion, I think it's also called the Mandela Effect, but I'm not entirely sure. It's like a psychology thing, I think. But
they don't teach you that in psychology.
Oh.
That's some like social psychology that the internet makes up, and then people just do one study on it and like, oh, wow, it's true.
Okay, so apparently it's not something that they teach. She's a psych major.
It at other schools. I didn't study like that type of psychology. Okay. I studied developmental, which is completely different. So.
Yeah, so she's a psych major, but they didn't talk about it at her college. But I think it's called the Mandela Effect, but I'm not entirely sure. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. Bourbon and ginger beer, dark and stormy. Is that what that's called? I've always called it. Okay, dark and stormy. Yeah, that's different. So I've actually had bourbon and ginger beer with lime juice in a Kentucky Mule. So it's basically like a Moscow Mule, but with bourbon.
I've had those before.
Yeah, and those are good, right? You like those?
I can't remember.
It's different.
I was drinking that day.
You've had them with me, I think. Me and your dad got them somewhere.
No, I was with one of my friends in Appleton.
I got one with your dad one time at the English Inn.
I had to drink it really fast because she forgot her keys in her car.
Oh, okay. Young rye, like double rye, can definitely be overpowering with the herbal flavors. Yes, herbaceous, as Alex would say from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. But yes, definitely herbaceous on the double rye. Something sweeter without the rye, maybe a weeder like Maker's Mark. Yes, I agree. Maker's Mark. And she's had Maker's.
40, Maker's 46.
Yeah. And the Penelope is a 4-grain, so it has a little bit of wheat in it. It's also kind of a sweeter whiskey, but it's a little bit more floral than Maker's is. What bottled in bonds do I have? Well, I have the E.H. Taylor, I have 2 new riffs, the Balboa Rye and Malted Rye, which the Malted Rye is fantastic. I didn't give her any of that because I think she needed a little bit more experiences before she gets to that point. I got Old Forester 100. It's not really bottled in bond, but it's 100 proof. I really think that's it. I thought I had more bottled and bonds than that, but I guess not.
High club beer. Isn't Brothers Bond coming out with the bottle?
Yeah, Brothers Bond is coming out with a bottled and bond, which I'm super excited for. But more importantly, they're coming out with a cask strength. It should be this month, but I have no idea. I haven't seen anything about it. Makers 101, that's good stuff for sure. I don't have any on the shelf though. A local store did a store pick of sorghum whiskey, but I never tried it. It's different. It's really.
Did you have?
I did. Your dad
Did
gave
you
me
not
some.
like it?
No, it was good. It's just.
Wait, what is sorghum? I don't know what that is.
Type of grain, I think.
Oh, okay.
The same thing as like kind of wheat and rye and barley and that kind of stuff. It's just sorghum. It's just a type of grain, I believe. But it's like very funky. I want to say it's almost malty, kind of like barley. It's been a while since I had it, but it's definitely unique. It was an experience for sure. No sorghum whiskey. Dang nabbit kitty. Chocolate banana or banana bread with almonds. Okay, so kind of like a banana with almonds.
I don't know if it's just the ice cube. I don't get ready anything from it.
Yeah, the ice cube took a lot out of this. I honestly didn't pour that much in here because I knew we were gonna be jumping back and forth between things, so I didn't over pour anything in there. So, Viking Bourbon, hey man, what's up? Welcome to it. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so did you try the Wild Turkey 101?
Yes.
What did you think? Did you try it on the palate or just the nose?
Both.
Both. Okay.
As much as you, I don't really smell anything with the ice cube, but I've smelled it.
No,
before.
this one. This is Wild Turkey.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
With the ice cube, I don't smell it. I don't remember. Hold on, go back. I don't remember what I smelled.
Okay, so she has Wild Turkey 101 neat in that Glen right now. And then I'm gonna pour a little bit of that Old Forester 100 proof in this Glen, just so she can kind of like do a comparison between these glasses. What are you getting on that one?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I can taste like the cinnamony, like
the cinnamon that I'm talking.
Yeah, I can taste it.
You can tell that it's spicy,
yeah,
right? It definitely has like an aggressive.
Yeah, but I don't
tone
know
to
if
it.
it necessarily smells that.
So spice is kind of a weird thing on the nose because it's like the proof can come across as spice and spice can come across as proof. It's kind of like spice kind of has the same effect on your nose as the ethanol does when you get like a really potent like a cask strength. That kind of like slaps you in the face and wakes you up, kind of is what that spice does. So overall, I mean, like maybe try thinking a little bit. Vanilla and cherries are probably two of the most prominent notes. Aside from cinnamon that I get on Wild Turkey, but if you don't, that's okay. But
I don't remember what cherries smell like.
Well, here are Luxardo cherries, which are not the same, but this is a very fake kind of
that's
cherry.
It's cherry.
Not really a good thing to go off of.
It doesn't smell. It does. Wait, is grenadine cherry?
Grenadine is
not
pomegranate.
Cherry. Oh,
I think
it's pomegranate.
It's.
Does it tell you?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, Rose Prada. No, that's brand.
Yeah.
Well, that's annoying.
Grenadine is like some kind of like I really thought it was like a pure like pomegranate something. I'm not entirely sure. I used to know how to make grenadine and I was gonna make my own, but I didn't. Okay, so
No.
No,
I don't remember what cherries smell like. Like for the life of me.
That's okay. So this one is. So we're kind of getting more into the nuanced territory of drinking bourbon. And so if you get too close to this one, it's going to singe your nose hairs. It's going to kind of be aggressive. But If you did get too close, just pull back a little bit and just really try to make mental connections. So you already know it smells like banana. Now we think a little bit of oak, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of maybe like a brown sugar and caramel. And you don't have to do them all at once. Just kind of smell and think about those things individually and see if you can pick out any of those flavors in the glass. If you don't, that's okay. It's kind of just to see.
Wait, hold on. Is that still on it?
Mhm. It's very watered down right now. I don't know if you'll be able to smell it at all.
Hold on, okay. Smell a little bit. I smell something, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, but it smells something familiar,
I don't know what
right?
it is, though. Also, obviously. But...
Okay. Do you still get the banana note on that one that you're getting in this one?
Yeah. I mean, it's different because I feel like the other thing is more strong, but
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Think about caramel.
It's not caramel.
Think about like cocoa, like dark,
I don't know.
cocoa.
I don't know what it is.
Otherwise, I don't know if you really know what oak smells like.
Well, I smelled it on the other. That's not out here anymore.
Buffalo Trace one.
Yeah.
So she's smelling the Old Forester 100 right now. Kind of has that like banana runs, kind of like spice and caramel and chocolate.
It's a food.
It's a food.
I just don't know what it is. I just can't remember. It's not. I don't know. Maybe it's banana bread. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had.
Do you get? Oh, that's a good question. Do you get any kind of bread? Like just like
I don't know. Is that what I'm smelling?
It could be like a fresh loaf of bread, right? Like that. I get that out of a lot of whiskeys, especially like almost like wheated whiskeys. I kind of get like a fresh loaf of bread out of. But I've always gotten like a banana breadiness from Old Forester products, which I love personally. But that could be what it is.
It might be. But I just can't remember what
and
sounds like.
Also, moving the glass around different areas of your nose,
yes.
Changes kind of how it smells. So, and opening your mouth just a little bit and kind of getting like breathe your air all the way through.
Maybe it's bread. I can't tell.
That's okay.
I need to let's go make some bread and then we'll post it on Instagram afterwards.
Her dad makes her dad hasn't bought bread in
since 2020.
Since COVID started, basically. He's been making his own bread in a bread maker. Which
from the 90s, by the way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a wedding gift for those two.
Which is awesome. I think that's awesome.
Bread. So maybe that is what I'm smelling. Of course, he started making bread after I
have another sip of that. So it's very much water now, but there's just a hint of
it's kind of gross.
Yeah,
it is. Kind of not good.
It is. So.
Oh, what's going on?
All right, so this is a little trick that I learned from originally the Whiskey Tribe, but also a couple other places. So you kind of get the ethanol flavors away and just leave.
I don't smell bourbon.
All right. Do it to yourself. Did you get some?
Oh, wait. We should do it on that. Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think bourbon is supposed to get on your engagement ring.
Engagement ring is coming off. All right, ready? All right, now rub it together. It kind of evaporates the alcohol, and that's probably good. Now it's smelling. What do you get? Anything?
Get asparagus. That's not right.
Asparagus. That is a note that I've.
I smelled it on your hands too.
Come here. I had this one's got a sniffer broken, I think. Everyone leaves asparagus my ass. That's funny though.
Sorry.
No, but it could be something vegetal, like then that planty note that you got when you're drinking on the rocks, and that kind of like the banana peel.
Maybe that's what it is, because I guess
maybe
like
what you're
the outside of an asparagus wasn't ripe, probably tastes the same as banana. Actually, I don't know, but
like not floral, but like planty.
Yeah, I say it's not floral because I know that's different. It's just not. Do you know what I mean? They might not, but you do.
I swear, yeah, I get it. Yeah, and honestly, like it's hard, especially getting kind of thrown into this. Yeah.
You know where you like
Yep, right here. Are you saying meow? They're all talking in sugar kitty language. So that meow means what up, dude. So can you really tell what I'm saying every time I say meow to you? Because that's really cool. Like, I guess I have a question. Do you have like a personal translator who
There's
knows
apps for that.
who knows cat and English? Or there's a good question. When you think in cat, do you think in English or do you think in cat? That's what people really want to know. I really think. Sugar Kitty, tell me you have seen the Meow game in the movie Super Troopers. If not, look it up on YouTube's. Have you seen that Super Troopers? They go. They
Have
basically what they do is they pull someone over and then every time they say now they say meow.
I do because.
Oh really?
I think I saw a video about that.
Oh, some Johnny Depp things.
I'm pretty sure I did. It might have been something different, but it was.
But yeah, so basically they pull him over and the cop goes, meow. You know why I pulled you over, meow? And then they keep saying meow instead of now, and it's just like the funniest thing because the people in the car are like, what are you saying meow? And the dog, he's like, no, I'm saying meow.
The dog.
Or no,
Sorry,
I'm getting confused. The officer is like, I'm saying meow, not. Yeah, it's just Super Troopers is a hilarious movie, especially like in the beginning. I honestly like that opening scene where it's chasing them down, and then like having them smoke the whole bowl and the schnozberries and all that. Wonderful.
Maybe I just know it because I've heard you talk about.
A liter of cola. Yeah. Grenadine is pomegranate based. Yes. Okay. So that's what I thought.
Now I know I like pomegranate.
Have you never had pomegranate?
I don't remember.
They're like tiny little.
I know what a pomegranate is, but I don't know if I've ever had one.
Funny Hoe Oak is nice, but cedar would be yuck. Funny Hoe Oak is nice.
I think you meant how.
Oak is nice with cedar. Yeah. You know, what's interesting? Cedar would be yuck, but like a cigar like notes. What is it? Is that cedar or is that pine? Like cigar, what is, you know how like cigar.
I don't know anything about cigars except that they smell and they make me want to die.
Well, okay, so cigars are usually stored in like oh wait, no, that's, I don't know, I'm getting all mixed up, but cedar doesn't really smell bad, I don't think, but you're right, I wouldn't want to.
Well,
I don't think I would want
what you make like salmon on, like a cedar plank.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm. Yeah, okay, so cigars are usually stored with like pine or cedar like shelving.
Well, I'm
right?
guessing that you wouldn't. Okay, well, if you drink, I don't know.
I don't really know. That's a hard one for sure.
Maybe it's chocolate then. That's what I smell.
I got chocolate banana from 0 Forest 100. Yeah.
Is that what I'm
He's saying? Yeah.
Chocolate.
But it would be like.
Where'd it go? Which bottle?
It's this one.
Wait, what does chocolate smell like?
Chocolate is like it's gonna be more of like a cocoa like chocolate, like a dark chocolate, like your chocolate bars that you really like.
Yes, but I never smell them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but smell and taste are so closely linked. So like it kind of smells the same way it tastes. A little bit. Imagine like you walk into a candy store. Like what candy stores smell like? They usually smell like chocolate.
I don't know if it's
chocolate. So some people get almonds or banana bread with nuts. Are you getting any kind of nuts on it? That's a good point.
It might be nuts. Actually, that sounds more like anything that we've talked about.
Because sometimes it can
be, but like it's
nuts.
Not.
Nuts can be green, like not green, but like planty. Like a younger whiskey will kind of have like a younger nut taste to it. Where like it's not really like a pleasant kind of nut. Where like it's not like peanut butter or eating peanuts. It's more like the nut is still on the ground and on the plant and kind of like growing. So it's kind of like a mix between like a little bit of nut, but a little bit of like planty and grainy.
Maybe it's nut.
It might be nut.
Because I don't think it's chocolate.
People do
It's
tend to
not
get
chocolate.
a peanut or like
I wouldn't say it's peanut either. Like
walnut.
almond would be the closest. Maybe walnuts actually. Actually, maybe walnuts.
Maybe walnut.
I haven't had a walnut in a long time. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Bring it back. I'm not sure. Like maybe like a candied walnut.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like maybe something like that I could get, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's chocolate. That almost makes me just like not think it's bread either. I definitely think it's probably nut.
Yeah.
Like banana and nut, like banana nut.
Yeah. Like a banana. Yeah.
Like a banana nut muffin.
Yeah. Well, that's what Brothers Bond tastes like. Banana nut muffins.
Yeah.
Banana nut bread. Yeah. So that's some good notes coming from you. Tobacco leaves. I don't think. I'm trying to think of. So you know how you have a humidor? That's what it's called. A humidor, and humidors have shelves, and they're always made out of wood, and it's always made out of a specific kind of wood that I can't put my brain on. Cedar? Is that cedar?
Cedar was what he said would taste like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
I think.
Well, I don't.
Do you guys know what kind of wood is in a humidor? Please let me know because I'm blanking. I know what it is.
Google it?
No, I'm blanking. I'm sure one of them know. I don't know if either of them smoke cigars or not, but
I think banana. See, I just thought I don't know.
banana dipped in chocolate. I guess
I've never had banana. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I totally have.
From the melting
Fondue.
pot.
No, just fondue in general.
Yeah, banana and chocolate is always really good.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is why people love.
But that's why
Old
I don't
Forester.
think I'm getting it though. But maybe I'm just crazy.
People love Old
just
Forester because it's kind of like a sweet banana, like chocolate.
I definitely get banana, and I definitely think it's candied nuts. But maybe the candied nut is the chocolate.
Viking Bourbon says he gets a chocolate marshmallow and char on Old Forester 100. Do you get any kind of marshmallow in here?
No, but I want to. I love marshmallows. I know, and I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
that was also
like
a year ago when I had that.
She didn't like the Woodford
I had
Double
it
Oak.
right when you first got it.
Yeah, she didn't like the Woodford Double Oak when I first bought it. Are you gonna have any more turkey? Because I'll finish it before some. Yeah, so she loves a good marshmallowy note, which I don't blame her because marshmallows are super sweet and yummy. So I'm gonna kind of give her some of that Woodford Double Oak and see if she can get like a marshmallow or like a maple out of it.
Okay, he says that humidors do use cedar. You're just behind. But I feel like we have to end that conversation.
Okay, yes. So Hanging AZ says they use cedar in some cigar boxes. Okay, that's what I thought. I was just blanking. I couldn't remember for sure, but yes. So it's interesting how I love the way when I walk into like a large humidor or like even just any kind of like cigar things, and I walk in and I can smell that cedar wood from the humidors. I love that smell. But you're right. I don't think I would enjoy it as much if it was coming from whiskey. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit nip of the Woodford Double Oak and see if we can get any kind of marshmallowy maple syrup type notes from it. The thing that I've noticed about Woodford Double Oak is that it kind of brings some of that Woodford funk that you get in other ones to the table here. Originally, when I first got it, I got a lot of that maple syrup, like toasted marshmallow sweetness, like brown sugar deliciousness. And I still get that now, but there's also kind of like this funk that I kind of get right on the front. And I really don't know a way to describe it perfectly. It's just kind of funky. You can't force what you get on bourbon to others. Each of us has our own tastings. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm smelling asparagus in
Yeah. So I agree. Yeah. Tasting whiskey is so personal and so independent. There's a lot of times you can find people with similar palates as you because you maybe had similar life experiences, but it all comes back to what your brain connects those individual smells and tastes to. So no two people are going to get the exact same thing unless they do if they have like similar connections in their brain, but at the end of the day, if you get something, if you can pick out a note in something and you can place it and you know it's that, like I 100% believe you, because it's like you kind of only you really know what you're tasting. And while you may not know what it is, and you say like I can't exactly place it, like you couldn't exactly place what it is, but you're not just agreeing with me to agree with me. You're trying to figure out what you're thinking and what it's connecting to. It smells familiar to you, but not, you couldn't place it down. So I agree. Very, very personal on tastings. So humors do use cedar. Yep. Hanging easy. Yes to bananas, but not up front for me. Just a hint. See, I get a lot of bananas, but I honestly don't get as much bananas in Old Forester as I get in Brothers Bond. So
It tasted very banana-y to me.
the Old Forester did, or the
Well, I know that tastes banana-y,
Yeah.
but the Old Forester did.
Brothers Bond it's easy because it's 80 proof. So it's like super bananas, but I love, and it's a 4-grain too, so it's kind of got that wheat that gives it a kind of like bready note. So that banana bread is like 100% there. I've never smelled something more banana bread in my life, and that's the honest truth. And I like banana bread a lot, so I do like the leather and tobacco note in whiskey. Pairs well with cigars. Yeah, leather and tobacco in the right whiskey is phenomenal. I really enjoy that. Dang it. Need to go pour a small glass of OF 100. Yes, please do. I mean, join the club. Old Forester 100 is definitely a classic. And honestly, for the price point, it's like $22, $23 around here. So, wonderful whiskey at that point. How is the Woodford Double Oaked?
I only smelled it.
You only smelled
Do
it.
you want me to taste it?
Do you get anything familiar on
I
those?
get like a ton of sweetness.
Like,
I know that's the point, right?
Yeah, so basically, all the flavors really that comes from whiskey is coming out of the charred oak barrel. When you char an oak barrel, all that sugars and stuff, it gets released in like the charring point of the barrel. And then when you put in the whiskey, it soaks up all that like sweet flavors from the barrel char. And what double oaked is basically doing is doing that twice. So it's usually twice as sweet and twice as oaky and twice as dark as a normal typical whiskey of its age and proof. So yeah, let me know if you get any familiar and what you think about it.
But you always
Smell it first and let me know how it smells, and then you can taste it after. Let me know if you get anything in particular, or if you can just tell that it's sweet. I know you said it was sweet, so. Smells like a very strong connection to memory, so I get deja vu sometimes. Yeah, I agree. Deja vu, nostalgia, kind of smelling something that you've smelled before, but you don't exactly know what it is. Lots of deja vu.
Okay, I have an answer.
Okay.
Well, it's not an answer to your question. It's an answer to my own question.
Okay.
It's not as strong as not feels like strong, like
harsh.
Heavy, harsh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Honestly, it doesn't hurt my tongue as much as the Buffalo Trace did. Is that supposed to happen?
Okay, so yeah, no, it's there's two things that could be happening. One, you've drank enough whiskey tonight that
I can't feel my tongue.
Well, yeah, your palate is accustomed to like that whiskey aggressiveness, and you're kind of falling more into the tasting of the whiskey. Whereas like originally the Buffalo Trace being one of the first ones you had was a lot more aggressive and like harsh. But at the same time, this is a sweeter one. It's kind of that sweet marshmallow, maple sugar, maple syrup, notes that I get on this one, which are really forgiving and easy to drink in a whiskey. So
I think I get maple syrup more than marshmallow, which is sad. Which I still like maple syrup, so I'm not complaining. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get maple syrup a lot more on the nose than I get on the palate.
It just is sweet on it. I don't get anything in particular. I just get like sugar.
Sweetness?
Like if I just snorted some
Like
sugar.
brown sugar.
No, just like
Normal
snort
sugar?
Any sugar.
I get brown sugar.
Well, you can probably
Well, because you got to think like brown sugar kind of has more of like a
it's like molasses, isn't it?
yeah, it's like that oaky like caramely like taste from a sugar, whereas white sugar kind of tastes like vanilla or like raw, like like they taste
I know what you
different.
mean. Yeah. I don't know. I just get sweet. Like I can't get past.
So
sweet.
yeah, so one part of whiskey tasting that's really important is kind of expanding. So and it's very hard to like grow into like doing this, but what tastes sweet. So the next step would be, which sweetness are you getting? Are you getting the normal sugar or the brown sugar? And then when you get to that point, are you thinking like, is it just brown sugar, or am I getting a little bit of like caramel or butterscotch in there as well? And you can just kind of expand more and more and more until you can pick out individual flavors. But it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of whiskey drinking, and I would never expect you to be at that point. But I think you've made amazing progress so far tonight. So we've been on for almost an hour and almost 2 hours now. It's an hour and 40-minute mark. We're probably gonna be logging off pretty soon, but just a couple of closing things. We're gonna get through these comments here. Haney's asking biking bourbon some questions. He says, I bet Lauren might like the Woodford regular test. Yeah, honestly, hold on just a second. So this is gonna be kind of. I'm getting rid of the Old Forester. Okay, so now you have something in front of you that's.
Am I supposed to compare it to that one, or
yeah?
Just...
So that one's probably going to be a little bit less sweet, but still has. So
it's less sweet on the nose, but almost like to the point where I can actually smell something. Because I swear that just smells like
sweet.
Sugar. It doesn't smell like anything to me.
What is this? What are you getting from this?
Like this one, I could definitely say it smells like something besides just sugar, but maybe something dark, not like. Do you know what I'm saying? Not vanilla, maybe vanilla. I don't know.
Dark as in like dark, like an oak dark.
Whatever's in my head that I'm smelling is dark. It's like brown.
So like.
So that encompasses everything.
Okay, that's
Caramel,
okay.
Vanilla, oak. It's all brown.
Well, I can tell you that I personally get a little bit of caramel, a little bit of brown sugar.
Is this the same thing? Like this and this? Like this is just
this
next two is that, or is this completely different whiskey?
The same thing, I believe. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, but I believe the exact same thing.
But
the difference is this one is in an extra barrel, and I'm not exactly sure age-wise how much different. I think this one's aged probably a minimum of like 4 years or like 6 years or something. I don't think it says. But probably minimum of, it's straight bourbon whiskey, so it's a minimum of 4 years. And then this one, it might be 4 years plus however many months in a new barrel, but they should be the exact same thing, except this one is barreled twice. So.
Okay, so then that makes me think. Brown sugar.
Brown sugar?
Yes, brown sugar.
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely get brown sugar. So the people who make Woodford Reserve, which I'm sure you already know this because I've said it on a lot of my videos, and I've talked to her a lot about this, but the people who make Woodford Reserve are Brown-Forman. They make Woodford Reserve. They also make Old Forester, and also Paul Wesley and Ian Somerhalder, the guys who made Brothers Bond. They drank a lot of Old Forester and Woodford Reserve while they were drinking whiskey together, and when they came time to make their own whiskey, that was their goal, was something along that Brown-Forman profile. So it kind of is like the same kind of, not the exact same, but a similar kind of oaky banana, brown sugar, caramel type sweetness in a whiskey. Now, for the Woodford Reserve, the normal Woodford, I do get a little bit of like that funky note, which might be a little bit of a tobacco or I almost get like just a hint of like a smoke, but nothing aggressive. It's like maybe you were at a bonfire and the next day like you can still somewhat smell the smoke on your hair, but like definitely way subdued. Totally for me right now because it switches depending on the time of day that I'm having it and when I'm enjoying it. But for me right now, I'm definitely getting more of a banana and caramel and brown sugary note. Oak is there, but overall, kind of like I'm on the sweeter side of things right now, and that might have been everything that I've been having so far tonight, but definitely sweet. Now compared to the double oaked is gonna be candy, like maple syrup, 100% like
Yeah. Oh, you're
pure
right.
maple syrup.
It does smell like maple syrup.
Yeah, especially when you go side to side. I whenever I drink this just alone, I know that I normally get maple syrup, but sometimes it kind of escapes me. But right now, going from normal Woodford to the double oaked, maple syrup is like slapping me across the face.
Yeah, it does smell like maple syrup. But this one to me smells like brown sugar.
Like brown sugar, yeah. I'd have to agree. Brown sugar. There's some other things in it, but obviously, like, I wouldn't expect you to pull everything out of it. But have you tried this on the palate yet? Would you like to, or are you kind of whiskeyed out for the night?
I'm warm. Does that answer your question? Are my cheeks red?
A little bit. Mine.
Your neck is red.
All right. Yeah. So probably the last bourbon of the day for sure. Almost hitting the 2-hour mark, but pretty easy to drink. Pretty relatively sweet compared to a lot of whiskeys out there. But how do you feel about that one?
Oh, I kind of think I like that one that one's tastes better than that one.
Okay, so she's liking the Woodford double oaked on the palate better than
I like that one.
Woodford.
No.
But she likes
that one's too sweet. It makes me a headache.
Okay, so she likes normal Woodford on the nose better, and she likes double oaked on the palate better, which understandably, it's interesting. So this is a problem I run into a lot when I'm doing blinds. Which one would you say you like better in total? Well, I guess the question is, what's more important to you at this point? I mean, you're still new, so your opinion can change. But at this point, would you rather have one that's better on the nose and still good on the palate, or better on the palate and still good on the nose?
Probably palate. Because I feel like nose is one of those things like you smell everything you drink. I don't do that. So like I could get away with just drinking the bourbon and not smelling it ever.
So you would be wanting the double oak.
Yeah, but like you can't. That doesn't go vice versa. I can't just smell it and still like try to enjoy the flavor. Like, that's
understandably. All right, so before we end up logging off here, I do want to have her smell the Penelope again. It's been sitting in the glass for at the beginning of the night. It's been sitting in the glass for a long time. It's definitely aerated. It's got some good notes going on. So I'll let you smell that. I'll read up the last of these comments, and then you try to pick out anything in there if you can. If not, that's okay. Just try to see if you can get anything out of that. Yes to barrel proofs, but I love the all. Oh, he was talking about Old Forester barrel proof. Old Forester barrel proofs are awesome. I've only ever had 1920 and then another barrel proof from them, but I haven't been able to get my hands on them. So, Bourbon Rendezvous, welcome, man. Thanks for hanging out. Love Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, one of our faves. Yeah, so I personally like Woodford Double Oaked a lot. It was my first double oaked product, and actually, it's the only one that I have on the shelf, I think. But it's one of those ones where like you kind of really get excited when you first get it, and then it just becomes one of those staples that you always have on the shelf, but you don't really brag about it all the time. But I certainly give Woodford Reserve Double Oak to a lot of my friends who aren't really into whiskey because it's a really recognizable one for them to pick out notes from, especially that maple note, and then like the kind of burnt marshmallow and just like sugary note. So really, really nice. All right. Palette for sure, I'd say. I was late. Did you try Old Forester 1920? That was one of my wife's faves to begin. No, we did not try the 1920, and we probably will try it on the next one, but she's had a lot of whiskey tonight, so don't want to get her too tipsy. But yeah, I personally, she can vouch for me. 1920 was one of the first ones I had, and I was like, this is amazing. This is like next level stuff. Now, I had the old label when I first tried it. The one I have up there is a new label. They're slightly different. Whether it's a huge difference, it's conspiracy at this point. But I have to say I remember it being better in the old bottle on the old label. But I only ever had it once on the old label. So the new label is honestly just as good in my opinion. Still an amazing bottle. I love drinking it, especially the mouthfeel and like the potency that it has to offer. So really awesome. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. So what did you think about that, Penelope?
Okay, I want to say that it's caramel.
Caramel?
But I'm not
Which
sure.
one was it?
That's that one. It's heavy on the. Is that like a nose smell?
Heavy?
Like
yeah, like
these ones,
potent and
yeah,
like
because like these ones I can. I don't know. That one's like
a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so you're right. There's caramel in this. I mean, caramel's kind of like a central note for a lot of them, but this one kind of accentuates the caramel because a lot of the flavors in it are light. I'm getting a lot of caramel, floral, vanilla.
Okay, I was gonna say like lemon
zesty,
but I didn't want to say it sounds stupid.
Yeah,
so.
no, lemons. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's definitely on the lighter side of things, like a creme brulee.
That's a good.
Creme brulee is definitely there. This is 104 proof, so a lot more going on. But when I reviewed it, and I still hold true, this is like a wonderful like whiskey. It's got a lot going on. Great mouthfeel, just a lot of greatness going on in it. Did you sip it at all? Did you want to? You don't have to, but are you gonna skip it for today?
I'll do it if you want me to. Unless you want to drink the rest of that.
You can have a sip if you want. Just one little one. All right. So this is our last sip, and then we're gonna be logging off here. We're an hour and 52 minutes in. A little proof here for you.
It just soaks in. It doesn't give me anything.
Okay, so this one is a little proofier than all the ones she had tonight. Also very viscous on the mouthfeel. It's the higher proof you go, the kind of more saliva sapping it is. The kind of more it dries out your mouth, but like in a good way. I mean, you kind of need to take a bigger sip because there's a lot more going on. You need to like coat everything, but it's really like a whole body experience when you get stuff like this. But that being said, I think it's time to log off for the night. So thank you guys all for coming out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you figured out some things, and I really think you did. Why don't you give a little bit of a review of like how you feel now about whiskey, and I guess I know coming in she was a little bit intimidated by kind of having to drink whiskey neat, and as she should be. A lot of people are kind of like that astringent, like alcoholic, like flavor that you get when you don't normally drink whiskey. But now that you've kind of explored your options and went through the motions, how do you feel now about kind of just having whiskey neat?
Well, these are really gross.
Yeah.
I know it's not neat, but these are really gross.
Yeah. To be fair, we didn't put enough whiskey on the rocks. I knew we weren't gonna drink them all, so I kind of baby poured them, and we definitely did not drink them fast enough. So
yeah, those weren't good. I did not like Buffalo Trace. That was gross. And I probably I would drink the Wild Turkey before I would drink Buffalo Trace, even though that was strong or whatever,
I would too.
Harsher or whatever it was. I probably don't think I'm ready for the high stuff.
Yeah,
that
the stronger
that
stuff.
just hurt my tongue.
Yep.
But these two weren't bad at all.
Okay.
And neither was the Forster
100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, she is kind of right at that point where she needs to be. She can start kind of tasting the beginner stuff, the low proof stuff, kind of working her palate toward the nuanced flavors versus the astringent alcohol burn that a lot of people are getting out of whiskey, which is a wonderful point to be at. So I think a pretty successful evening for us, pretty progressive evening for us. So overall, very good. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks for everyone for joining and hanging out in the chat with us. It was really a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everyone who comes here. So until next time, cheers, everybody. I will be coming out with a new video on Thursday, and then after that, I'm always live streaming on Tuesdays. If you guys haven't, please like this live stream, like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. That being said, I hope you all have a good night. I'll see you guys all in the next class. Cheers.